G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Daethstro, the Aussie Geek, and today we are looking at the Kids Fantasies Club KingGorilla, their metallic version, or otherwise their version 2. Now, of course, this guy has Spasma, or as he is called in the biography, Kongar, I think it was. I'll have a look in the book in a minute and we'll see if I'm right about that. So here we are. We have Apeface and Spasma. So this is, as far as I'm aware, the second version of KFC's Apeface. And I'll start by saying I feel a little bit sorry to the original figures release, the first version's release, because this guy looks, excluding the backpack, which we'll get to in a minute, looks pretty damn close to G1 accurate Apeface, especially the animation model. In saying that, and I don't do this very often, I put him up a little to the side and we will bring in the box. Because the box still has the original version of Apeface, or KFC's version of Apeface. And as you can see here, that don't look like Apeface. The colors are off, admittedly, but the original head, I'm not 100% sure where they got the idea for the head from. And I had a look at the G1 toy, and it's the only thing that I can assume is where they got the idea for the head from was the G1 toy, but even that doesn't look exactly right. So yeah, I feel sorry for anyone who got the first release of this, because unfortunately, while the colors aren't too bad, you are kind of stuck with a very disappointing version of Spasma, or his face at least. All right, put that off to the side, but we will need that because I am starting to discover something that actually helps to have my boxes nearby when we get to it. Now, one thing else I will say before we get into too much, the Decepticon logos, I have actually put them in 3 different spots, each based on where each of the 3 modes. And I will say that normally I try to get on Google and try to find a G1 reference sheet so I can tell where the stickers are supposed to go. I had no luck, for the most part, finding Apeface stickers. I even tried to use Siege's Apeface as a reference. Even looking up the Rebirth, I couldn't get a decent example of where the sticks should go. So miraculously, I actually found a link, or an image, which led me to a link to a DeviantArt artist who has transformer references for each mode. So if you've got Triple Change, it's got 3 modes. Now, I don't usually go on DeviantArt because there's nothing really there I want. So the fact that I found this guy or girl, I can't remember, I found very useful for those of you. So for those of you who collect third party, I will leave a link in the description to his or hers, to the artist's page, just so if you need future references, you can actually find them, especially if the Transformers Wiki don't have them. The other thing I want to point out is my backpack. My backpack, if you're looking at this, is technically mistransformed. Now, if I use the reference once again in the box, and I'll actually use the including instructions for this to save me a bit of hassle, you will notice that the backpack is like this. But going into the instruction booklet itself, finding a decent picture, here we go. And I point out this is also using still version 1's robot mode. So if you look here, the backpack is actually down. So personally, I just like the way this looks compared to the actual proper transformation. But if you want the way it's supposed to be transformed, these white pieces should be up instead of down. So you basically want to start sort of moving things out of the way. This is best done during transformation, not post-transformation. But you do it sort of like that, and then you can just... Actually, no, I think we need that up, don't we? Yes. So basically it hides the wings for the most part. So it's just, we'll do it this way. That way it'll make it a little bit easier. And then just fold that up. And then if you bring it back around, yes, it flattens his backpack, especially over his shoulders. But I just think that looks ridiculous. You know, I just think it looks stupid. Now, the backpack's stupid in the first place. So there is that. But honestly, I just think it looks more appealing, personally. If you disagree, please do. That it looks better with just the backpack just being there as a backpack. So, yeah, honestly, I think that just looks more appealing. It just gives him even more girth. So we'll go through some accessories before we get too far into the robot itself. As I said, you do get instruction manual, which has all the old artwork on it and whatnot. You do have your bio in the front page, if that's something that interests you. We have and I will admit that so far only my DX9 Gavolt figure I appreciate this with. It comes with a little poster, which it's okay, but the DX9 looks better. I don't know if I ever showed that either. He does also come with a card with the same old version 1 artwork on there. And yeah. Now, I will say, especially if you looked into if you had to pause the video, that KingGorilla is your Snapdragon. So I just find that incredibly funny. Now, he does have 2 guns. Yeah, they're vice versa. They're vice versa, so that way you can actually hide the screws if you want. It does have a light up feature, but I don't have the screw for it. You just unplug that, and then you start unscrewing these and pull it apart and whatnot. Let's see if I can get that back on. Last time I pulled this off, it was fairly get back on. So you do have 2, and these, personally, I feel come more into its own later on, which of course then you can fold the hand up, and it is using the something I wish they would stop using, even though it's just an older design, the Masterpiece handles, which we can't call them Masterpiece for too much longer. Well, Masterpiece, whatever the G stands for, I haven't quite gotten to that workout yet. We have blast effects, and I drop it. We do have blast effects, which only work in jet mode. They do not go in the guns. We do have one thing that we'll use for later, but we do have his shield, and you can actually alternate those how you want, and that looks like a bunny ears or mind wipes ears. As for combining with the robot, you do have this port and this port. Obviously, this port doesn't quite work so well with the backpack configuration like this, but you can, work it out some way to plug that in there. And now he has his shield thing. So there we go. So there is that. Now there is 2 other accessories which we'll get to when they are of basically necessary introduction. Now you can pull the front down and you have your speed, strength, and intelligence. So he is, almost max strength, just over half speed, and roughly halfway intelligence. Now I will say, in case I forget later, with the head, if you don't press the head down far enough, the springs that control the stats, because if I pull that out, they drop, right? They disappear. So this is spring loaded. So if you don't put it in far enough, it's going to pop off. So make sure you've got it pushed all the way in to make sure that it stays in place. Now, I'm just trying to think how this guy came out of the box, because there was some things that I had to fiddle with. One was the feet. Both the front and the back heel were folded up. The forearms were the wrong way around. And I do have a sort of messed up gorilla arm. Now, he does look like he's leaning back, which he kind of is. But you do have, I'll get better into these later, you do have friction hips. So yeah, he looks bending back that way. But, you can just fiddle with those friction hips a bit, which mine are tight. And you can, of course, get him standing straight how you want. But that's neither here nor there. Which, honestly, even having my whoops, I wish they'd move that button on my phone. I keep hitting the magnifier every so long. Anyway, I think the ratchets in this one's off because I can't actually get that arm flat. Like, it looks fine there, but trust me, if you look from that angle, it's not flat. Yet if I go over this side, it's flat. So, but yeah, he's not going to fall over unless I really put some push into him. So there we go. All right, so we will leave the size comparisons till after we get this guy back into robot mode. So let's start off by get him into jet mode. So we're going to remove Spasma and put him to the side for the moment. And where to start with? We'll start with his hands. So I'm just going to lift up. Oh, you know what? That's one thing we didn't do. We might as well do it while we're at it. So doing it when we get back into robot mode. Head can do a full 360, and you can always have an Apeface. Transformation doesn't really hold together too well. Head doesn't go up. Head doesn't really go down. Doesn't go side to side. I don't know why that went really bright for a second there. Arms, due to the backpack, can't do a full 360 even if you have it down here. You're still going to hit that backpack. But it is doable if you want to fiddle around with that. Arms go out that far. You have forearm rotation, but you do have bicep rotation up here. The elbows are a bit stupid. I admit, the elbows are stupid. And you have two here, one here, and one here. So it's technically a double joint elbow, but I can never get the bottom elbow moving. So, yeah. You have wrist rotation. You have individual fingers, which ball joints at the top, and you have pins down each. Same with your thumb. And to this day, I still am not a fan of, fully articulated fingers. I find them more of a hindrance than anything, but that's just me. You have no ab crunch. You do have a lower hip swivel. You can lift up this side skirt, which we're going to have a lot of fun with that in the coming minutes. You can't get your leg up that far. You can't really get this back. This does move, but you're basically going to have to untransform all his butt flap to get it anywhere. Leg goes out that far with a ratchet. We have hip rotation. We have a high knee that gets you that far. Heel does go up on its own, but that's more for transformation. Same with toe, but that can tilt up and down a bit. And you have an okay ankle tilt. So there we go. Right, let's now get this guy into transformation, and we'll start with jet because it's basically the way I do it. Also, looking at that, if I either tightened his knees up or something, it would actually probably make him straighter. But let's go figure out how that works. It's probably, I'd say that screw there, but I'm not going to fiddle with it this time round. All right, so we're going to pop the head off and put that off to the side. We're going to lift up the hands. We're going to come in here and fold that here. Now, so the fingers, personally, to me, is a little iffy. So if you just sort of crumple them up at the front like this and put the thumb on, although that ball joint is really, really loose, so it'll probably move. And then just rotate and swing in And hopefully everything lines up where they're supposed to. And nope. I knew it was going to be the fingers are always things that annoy. No, come on. This is why I don't like articulated fingers. They have not properly worked out the aspects when it comes to space. All right, there we go. Got them in there. So hopefully none of that breaks when I try to get the back out again. All right, same on the other side. And for some reason, my right thumb is looser, even looser. So squeeze all them up the best we can. The reason I hate these type of fingers is honestly my Gigapower swoop. I broke one of his fingers. See, that's really loose. But yeah, I broke one of my swoop's fingers, and so he doesn't have a finger anymore. So close that up. All right, so we're going to get the backpack undone and then work our way. So what we're going to do is we're just going to lift up the ape legs at the moment, and we're just going to untab this tab here that goes into this port here, and just spread that out as much as we can. Then what we can do is we can rotate the arms up, and we want to make it so that, and this is going to take me a lot of camera movements because of how tall this guy gets. These ports here, make sure they're, beg my pardon, rotated inwards. Then we can, beg my pardon, I apologize. Straighten those arms up. You're going to pull out so it untabs here and flip up the monkey legs all the way up. And then this port that was in here is going to plug into here, like so. And then what's supposed to happen is, my bad. Actually, I've got the elbows, one elbow how I wanted it. So basically you want the elbows facing inwards. So pull that in, rotate that in. Right, plug all that back in again. And that can plug in. These are probably going to pop out again anyway. But yeah, just give it a squeeze. Make sure everything's lined up. All right, so next we're going to do the legs. So we'll bring the camera back down again. And we start getting into some difficulties here. Actually, we'll do one thing first. Grab his waist, grab the top of his hips, and pull as hard as you can, because you need to extend his whole ab section for this mode. So what we're going to do is flip this up, and flip up his crotch. Flip up his crotch. And then you're going to come back here and try to fight that. Fold this down and bring this up, and that will get his butt flap undone, and that will be able to split his legs. So what I'm going to do is fold this down twice. Now, these, at least on mine, are infamous for popping off. So you're probably going to see them pop off quite a bit. But what we're going to do here is flip these two out, because these ports are going to go into here. So just line them up a bit and feel them out. That sounds terrible. I got one. Give me. That's what I get from moving that leg. Just pull that down again. My one leg was just in the wrong spot. Come on. Why are you fitting me? Oh, that's really wibbly. Up. I don't know why. There we go. That got it. Now I can get the other one in. There we go. Get that in. Straighten that all up. And we're going to rotate these and bring them down here. Like so. Like I said, they are probably going to pop out a lot during this. All right, the legs. So you're going to fold up the toe and fold up the heel. You stay where I told you to. Fold the toe, fold the heel. All right, so there is a red button on the back here. This compresses the legs. Now I found the easy way, because you've got to get it in here, unpeg those arms and rotate them back. So it looks like you're basically trying to create a Jinrai base mode, which there you go. Here's a base. But what's going to happen is these pieces here are going to go under the slots under the arms. So I'm feeling for that button. So in, up, and try your best to get under there and in. All right. Same on the other side. It doesn't feel good. I don't think it'll break, but at the same time, it does not, in any regard, feel good. Come on. Don't think I've got the leg either far enough down, or I'm grabbing onto something else. I'm just making sure those arms are actually up as high as they need to be. Come on. Oh. Clearance is an issue with this figure. Come on. Last time I transformed it, you didn't have any problem getting under there. Where am I gripping onto? There we go. Got it. I don't like using force. It's never a good thing. All right, so these fold in, and these are going to go into these holes, which mine don't really line up at all. So there is that, unfortunately. And then we can put these arms back where they were supposed to go. So I always forget that I have to do that, so I apologize. All right, so we've basically got this where we want it. Now I'm going to bring out these wheels. So we have some landing gear, which honestly don't do a lot. So now we have all this. So we're going to put him on his belly, and we're going to bring up the nose cone and wiggle that into place so it all lines up. Now, how to put this? So with this all straight, this is going to come round, and I'll move the camera for a second. This is why I still need to get one of those auto camera stands. So this is going to come back. I'll get those wheels up. This is going to come over here. And I think I just flattened out my feet too. And these are going to plug into here, like so. But what it really needed was a tab in here to go into here, and there is none. So what's going to actually hold all this together is these pieces here. So I'm trying to figure out which best way to do this. So I'll put it in my side a little bit so it saves me moving the camera. You're going to rotate that down, and then we're going to go under. So we go this way, and what's going to happen is there is this tab here, if you can see it. This tab here is going to go into this port here, and this is sort of going to sit into all here. So rotate that around. I suppose if you want, this is basically the piece that's going to go into here. Rotate that around, get that into here, bring that down and plug it in. Because as you can see, that's already starting to unplug. So I'll do the same thing on this side. Rotate that around. I'm going to lift it up just to give us a bit of, so we can actually see what this is doing. Rotate it under. Lift it over. Yes, you're flexing a little bit, but it's all right. Plug it in to the side. Make sure they stay plugged in. And then we can lay it flat. Now we can go back down a bit. All right, so we're almost done. We do want the paws just folded under, just so they look a little bit more tidy, I guess. This does have a bit of parts forming, and you've already seen the parts forming. So you're going to fold the wing out once, fold it out, lift it up, and try to make sure that's all straight before you bring it back down again. And just try to get those double hinges where they're supposed to be. There we go. And up, and down, and up, and over, and down, and felt like it was being untabbed. All right, final piece, we need the shield. And you're going to do it so that this small piece here is going to be the front. So then you can angle these tail pieces however you want. Pretty sure it's that way. That way? No, it's the other way. All right, so it's small piece to the back. Now mine tabs in really, really, really well. Is it the other way? Well, it's one of the ways. Which way is it? No, it's got to be that way. That's be right. One of the things, there we go. So I'm not going to press that in too hard because last time I had to get a part separated to get it back out again. So you can have it angled out. You can have it more angled up. But that's up to you. I do like mine angled out. But there is the jet mode in robot mode. And I won't lie, even though I've had this guy in robot mode for I think a month or two, I still don't know which mode I want to keep this guy in because this looks amazing. But right now I do not have the space required, even with that big old shelf that I built, to actually store it. So right now he's standing next to Fans Toys Galvatron. But he does look really, really nice. I'm putting the camera up a little bit. Like I said, Decepticon logos, thanks to that channel. And these aren't quite tabbed in, but what can you do? So yeah, he's big, he's hefty. And once you've got these wings tabbed in, this ain't moving at all. So we can do a few things with this. We can arm him up with his guns. Now, I think the traditional G1 toy way is you plug it back here. And it's sort of an over-the-shoulder blaster. Also, for those of you wondering why does the back end look like crap, this is apparently very reminiscent of the G1 toy, so take that for what it's worth. But personally, I have always preferred the underwing, and you have these ports here, which you can use to plug your lasers in. Of course, you can add your lighting effects to that if you want. Down under there too. Which I'm doing this very awkwardly. Gotta clean my tablecloth. There we go. So now he has dual underwing blasters. So very null race, which even makes him look even better, honestly. Now he does have one other accessory. Oh, I almost forgot. We have our jet boosters, which can just go into the back of his hands here. So plug those in. Will they go in there? Yeah, they will go in there if you want him to look like he's getting shot. These pieces are moved a little bit. I don't want them to move just yet. And plug that in there. But the main one is he has a flight stand. Now there is two prongs here. There is this one and this one, but that's more of a peg. So I'm not quite sure where that goes. So that might be more for robot mode, but I can't find any instructions. But this is definitely for jet mode. And I'm assuming, depending on how you angle it, depends on how it looks. So you do have this port under here. And just plug that into there. And now he's zooming. I assume if you put it the other way, he probably looks like he's... Well, let's have a look. We'll put it the other way, and we'll see if that actually makes him fly flat. Can you get in there? Yep. So here you go. A little bit tilted down, but yeah, he's flying. He's going to destroy some Autobot headmasters. He is wiggly and wobbly, so if someone walks past, he probably will wobble because he is quite dense. So just beware of that. Get yourself without tossing him. So I was almost going to do it really weird like. So we can do our first size comparison in this mode. We'll start off with the regular. There he is with Windblade. He's massive compared to her. Although admittedly her design is somewhat reminiscent, even though she's got the turbine wings, which I always forget to turn around. I don't know why. Apart from that, we have Siege, Apeface, and they did a pretty good job with it. You know, everything's pretty much where it was. So there we go. We do have one more size comparison. Not quite, but there is with his head. But we can get into Spasma. So all we do is flip his legs down, pull his arms out a bit, and split his legs. So there is Spasma with his body. And he comes with... We'll talk about Spasma now, just because we've got him into robot mode. So we will pull Apeface off to the side. But we did get this. And I, for the longest time, was like, why do I have a metal plate? Magnets. It's to help Spasma stand up, which, speaking of which, where is it? I was reading in instructions, so we can actually bring Apeface back. There is it on both sides? I think these are metal. So, yep, you can stand there, and you can open up the cockpit. And if you can get in there without having to worry about that, which I've never been able to, he can sit in there. And this does have a light-off feature too, but that requires batteries that I do not have. So there is that. All right, so here's Spasma in his robot mode, and that's the best focus I've ever got on something so small. Just have a little spot for a Decepticon logo, but I am definitely not adding that. So yeah, he is very chunky, all things considered. His legs are the most full-on legs I have seen forever. But he does have quite a bit of posability. Head can do a full 360. Arms can kind of do a full 360. It's on a peg. Comes out that far. We have an elbow bend there. No wrists, no fingers. No waist swivel. Leg gets up that far. Leg goes back that far. Leg goes out that far. We have a little bit of hip rotation. We have knee that goes that far. Goes crazy that far because that's the way it's designed. And we have no ankle tilt, although I think it's partly sculpted that way. So there we go. But if you are having trouble displaying him standing because of the Apeface, you bring in that and you put him on that, which I find is brilliant. But admittedly, so far, KFC Headmasters are the only ones that have actually had relatively issues standing up. And we can do a couple of size comparisons here. We bring the camera down so we can actually have a proper look at this. So that is Kongar. We can have a look at him next to to Siege Spasma, and this is probably would be helpful to actually use the metal plate on him too. Okay, we'll just have him stand next in front of him. And of course we have Fans Toys Mondo. I can't remember if there's actually a lore name for him. I admit I didn't look. So he is definitely smaller than Spasma, but hey, honestly, when it comes to robot modes, I would say, because I don't have my headmasters in robot modes, I'd say that Apeface is definitely bigger than Weird Wolf. Okay, so let's get to our next mode. So we'll put these guys off to the side. And you can stay on these metal plates. So we'll just lift the camera up a bit. Really should fix my tablecloth. Whoops. Unplugging things. Alright, so we're going to take off the blasters. Blast effects. We're going to take off the guns. And I'm untabbing things. Let me put that off to the side. And put that off to the side. And if I haven't plugged it in too hard, thankfully not, we'll take off the shield. Yes, even on G1, we have parts forming. Alright, so what we are going to do first. We are going to do the wings, so we're just going to get them out of the way. So do your best to just fold down, fold up, and down. And we'll pull that to the side. And what we're going to do is then flip this whole thing up to reveal the monkey paw. Now, this doesn't go any further back, and I wouldn't be hesitant to say to grab it by the fingers. So I would suggest getting a tool or something, just to give you a bit of extra leverage. Hopefully you've still got some nails, and flip that all out. We can probably flip that up, just gives a little bit more clearance to get the paw out, and like so, and then we can fold that back down, and fold in. So we'll come to the other side, and fold down, fold up, and bring this out, fold this up. We'll just straighten all that up once again, get a tool, hopefully got some nail, which my right thumb doesn't because I broke it the other day, not my finger but my nail, and just get all that out for now. Close that up, fold that down, and I'm partly unfocused. All right, so this is a little bit more fiddly, so just be aware of that. What we are going to do is we're going to, and I might have to move the camera for this, but I'll try doing it this way. We're going to untab these. So we've basically unplugged from here, and we're going to get that out of those gaps. So we have like this. We're just going to keep them rotated in for the moment. We are going to flip down the wheels. One of mine has a tendency to pop off. So yeah, there's that. We're going to rotate, untab, I should say, which that's really tight at the moment. Going to untab and rotate this down so we have some clearance. And then we want to get these legs out. So just do your best to sort of get things past things and get them out. All right. Now, while you have it somewhat like this, if you can get the backpack out of the way, you need to spin this piece here. So make sure that's pulled down. You might have to orientate the legs in some weird ways. At least get these red pieces out of the way, and you're going to rotate it at the hip rotation like so. So that way we have these pieces facing the front, and we want to squish it about half-ish way. All right, so then what we're going to do is fold this in because we don't need it. Fold those down because we don't need them. Now, this is where things will get very, very, very frustrating, because basically we're going to make the ape form, so that's just going to push back. So that's why the weird angle for the crutch, so it gives it that angle. And what you want to do, first and foremost, is you want to extend the legs, not too much, just enough, and I've did it too far. But what you want to do is you basically need to get this up. So bring it up as far as it'll go. Try to get things, keep things clear if you can. So bend those, get them out of the way. and then you want to bring it down. Now, you want it so this silver ring is facing you and then compress. So extend out a bit. I caught it that time. Rotate. Spin it up as far as it'll go. Compress and bring it down, because you will be fighting these joints. If you can get the screw on the outside, you've got it in the right spot, but you'll be fighting those joints otherwise. All right, so we want to fold down the nose cone. Now I'm going to show you how you're supposed to do this, and then I'm going to show you how you should do this. So I'm going to get these out. I knew I was going to pop it off. So I'm trying to get that behind there, and I'm just going to flatten that. So this is just all going to sit there like that, and I will try and get that back in place. I swear if they glued it in, it'd break, and yeah, I think they could have done better there. All right, so how to show this? So you need to flip these pieces up and get them under the legs, right? And then you need to rotate these up. You need to get the elbow joint so it's facing inwards, all right? So it'll fold that way. And you need to get this peg inwards, right? Because that's going to tab in. We won't be using it initially, but we will be using it. So up, rotate up. Make sure that elbow rotates, because one of these usually does it on its own, but not this time apparently. Rotate that tab in. And what's supposed to happen? What's supposed to happen is you have these ports here, these tabs here, which you flip up, and they're supposed to plug into, I might extend the leg a bit, and just so I can show you. It's supposed to plug into here, right? So that's got to plug into here. So it keeps this together. I don't do it because it's nothing but fiddly nonsense, and something else is going to lock it in place anyway. So I ignore those tabs, right? So what we're going to do, I knew that was going to pop out again, is we're going to rotate this back, and I'm just going to get that nose cone between the arms, because that's where it's supposed to go. So we just want to sit there for right now. We don't want to focus too much on it. We just want it to sit there, because what happens is you have these black pieces here are going to go into here. So if you rotate this piece, right? So you have this against here. This is going to go into the sort of groove here, right? Like so. And once you've got one in place, you're... I'm not getting frustrated, but by God, that stuff is annoying. You know what? I'm going to do one step better. I'm removing my side skirts because they're going to keep popping off on me. All right, so get that back there, right? Just so they're out of the way. All right. So this comes around here. Right, so it's going to go underneath that piece. Now, what I'm looking for is, if I can get the arm out of the way, is, where are you? You have this screw here, right? If you can see it, this hole here, I always thought it was this one, but it's this one. If you can press that, this tab's going to go in there, all right? So as long as that lines up, that is locked in place. All right, so I think I've actually got in the right spot. It should be under this one, not this one. But yeah, that's pretty much locked in place, right? It's not going to go anywhere. So we do the same on the other side. Bring that around and bring that under. All right. Like so, and we find that hole and we tab that in. Give me There we go. That has locked the backpack in place. The backpack's not moving anywhere. So now you can fiddle with this stuff. So bring that down like it was supposed to. And now you don't even need these, right? So just reposition them as you need to. Just make sure they tab in. Then you take these two ports and they plug into the back. And they will compress the things a little bit, but that doesn't matter. As long as these two red pieces stay in place, they are going to compress. And ironically, they're now actually probably situated where they're supposed to be. That's just going to sit there. It's not going to go anywhere else. And we can turn the light off now because we don't need it. All right, we're going to bring it down the paw. I don't know. What do you call the hind feet, hind arms, legs of a gorilla? Because I wouldn't assume you call them hands or anything. I was going to say something's not quite straight enough. Oh, that's why, because my leg's extended. There we go. Now, I will say these hind hands are pretty damn strong. All things considered, if you get them in the right spot, actually, you could probably slide them up. Depends on how you want it. If you want it, I think it's supposed to be longer, but I'm just trying to get my knees moved where I want them. Stay. Come on. All right, I'll fiddle with that later. Anyway, so you bring the hands down, straighten all that out. Bring this in. Obviously, angle that how you want it. Bring that in. Bring that down. There's a very, very weird pose my other hand's doing. And bring out the fingers. And of course, you can do that sort of classic style, I suppose, ape stance. So, like that, I suppose you could call it. And then you just fiddle with your positioning. So you can have that sort of stance. He will stand up straight. Honestly, he will stand up straight. But we're missing something. We have no Spasma. So we plug his feet back in. And you do have pegs here that go into these ports, but there's no pegs that actually hold the front of the ape head. So it doesn't quite do the tabbing very well. And I will point out I don't push this in far because I think I need to scrape some of this out to actually give it a bit more clearance. But you can put it in. I don't put it in very far. And you can have that look if you want. Or if you position, if things are not still nice and tight and whatnot, you can legit have him standing up ready to, smash some Autobots for disrespecting his territory. So there we go. Like I said, he is very stable, especially with all the backpack and everything, which things are untabbed. But those hindquarters are very, very strong. Like I could, in theory, his front paws, his front hands are not touching the ground now. It's just purely balanced on the back. So if you balance that right, you're pretty spot on. And of course, he does have articulation in this mode, so he actually does get a full 360 on the hands, although the wings do get in the way. Arms go out that far. He has ratcheted elbows. He has no bicep twist. He has wrist here and here, or I suppose that might be his elbow. All his individual fingers at the middle pin. Thumb is same. Hind feet, he has pin knuckle here, and that's about it. And the thumb, I think, is just one piece except for the joint to the actual wrist. So there we go. Like I said, it's just a matter of how you want to position him. Depends on how he stands. Like he's leaning there now, but if you fiddle with his joints, You can get him standing perfectly fine. Now, apparently you can, and I can't figure out where it is, you can plug this on the back. The instructions do say, I don't know why it fell out of the box. Just trying to find the picture. Yeah, so somehow it plugs onto the underside of the jet. So here or somewhere, but I can't, unless it's the piece down here, but I can't see it, and I don't want to do it because it just looks silly. I need to get you in a position where you're not going to keep moving on me. Stay. So there we go. So by the way, he can, and I've just bent his knee, he can open his mouth. No light up eyes, but he can open his mouth. So he can, that's a very bad impression. Get it in one position and stop moving. There we go. All right, so size comparison. Here he is with MP10. So he is pretty tall compared to MP10 there. And of course, the more important size comparison, I forgot to do something. Quickly do that. And to beg my pardon, that. There he is with Siege Apeface, who I'm not sure if he can do the same thing or not. Kinda. Just get things balanced right. So there you go. There he is with Siege Apeface. All right. Now we can get this guy back into robot mode. So we're going to take the head off, and we'll close that mouth because we don't need that mouth open at the moment. And we're going to get things back in place. So it's just a matter of really undoing everything. So what we'll do is we're going to fold these feet in just to give us some clearance, so we don't have to worry about that. We'll deal with the ape arms. So we're going to flip that up and flip that open. You're going to bring this up. You want to bring this, oops, sorry, didn't see any of that. Bring this down, and you want to bring this down like this for the moment. And bring the finger in. You're going to push that in there, and as it sits in, it'll sit against the ratchets. So then you can bring that over and close that up and bring that down, and you're done. So same on the other side. Just bring that out, flip that up, and make it so we have some clearance. We're going to bring this up, bring this down, and get those fingers back against, because my thumb was in the wrong way. Press that in as far as it'll go. Bring that down and close. All right, so then we get all this out of the way. So providing things are untabbed back there, we can just get all that out of the way. Just bring these arms back. And this is usually where I pop one of my tires off. We're going to come in here and we'll extend that arm a bit. And we're going to unpeg that. So that way it frees the leg. And it frees this side of the backpack. Bring this out. Unpeg that. And then we can bring pretty much, whoop, I just dropped things. We're going to bring that back. And we're going to come in here and bring that back. And that now clears all of that. And we'll fix the side skirts up in a minute. So let's do these legs. So we're going to try to get a bit of clearance. Easier said than done. And we're going to extend. You can do it all the way this time. And we're going to bring it down and around. Which way do we want it? We want it this way. No, we want it this way. All right, because once you've got it basically there, everything's where it's supposed to end up being anyway. Although I think I have my leg slightly in the wrong spot. So bring that out. All right, We'll fix these legs up in a second. But what we're going to do is just try to give these legs clearance enough. Bring this down and just do your best to give yourself more clearance. And we're going to spin, once we get that down, this whole section around again. Just trying to get my legs to have a bit more clearance than they seem to. I might just compress that a little bit just to give us a little bit more clearance. Bring it around, angle things as you need them, and make sure this piece is facing the red. And we'll fix that up. Whoops. I don't know what just fell off because I brushed against something. So for a reason I can't figure out, I've been pulling on my thing. So where are we up to? All right, that's right. We're working on the legs. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to unpeg here and here. And we can bring them down, and my legs are the wrong way around, or at least my lower legs are. And what we can do is we can bring them up. We want to pull out his crotch, bring these together, put the crotch in place first, fold that in, and peg that in, and we'll move this out of the way once we get that up, and then we can take our side skirts and we can put them back. So honestly, if you have trouble with the side skirts like I do, I just tab them back in. Now I'm going to extend my leg just so I can actually get a bit more room for that. Like so. Extend that. Push the red pieces you were using before to the back. Come in here. Drop your foot down. Come back here. Drop your heel. Same on the other side. And there. And that gets our feet all resituated. We can completely compress the upper body. All right. If you haven't already, I'm gonna have to leave the camera up. If you left your gorilla legs extended, just slide them down, providing you've unplugged these already, and just angle them in a way to make sure this tab is going to go in here. So you might have to fiddle a little with it just to line things up properly. Oh, hang on. There is a double hinge there. That's why I had trouble with it once before. So it's basically a pin. Sorry. Try to focus better. There is a pin here and a pin here. So it's not going around. One of those pins is not lined up properly. So I'll try on this side. So yeah, if you see there, and it would help if my paw is in the right spot. If you see there, I'm not lining up properly. So I've got to get that other pin to wrap around and line up. Come on. I think my pin's too far. Also, I think yep, there we go. That got it. All right, we'll leave the arms the way they are for the moment. We'll deal with the backpack. Now, if you want your backpack, like I had mine, and just compress those all the way up there, you want to keep this piece raised up and then rotate that. And that gives you your air intake look. If you want it the proper transformation way, you want to bring that down, rotate that up still. Not that way. You want to rotate that up and rotate this up. So it's the same way. Nope, I've just done the opposite. Jesus. So you want it that way. There we go. So you're going to have it this way, so the white is going to be at the top. So if this is angled right, that's how that should look. But sorry for those who are wanting to do the other look, but I like mine this way. So we're going to compress that, bring this down. Nope, we're not going to bring that down because that just gets us in the way. So we want this straight, and this tab's going to go into here. So just make sure all that lines up. You may find that your shoulders, I don't think I've got my, no, I didn't have my wheels compressed enough. Because of the way I've got this, my shoulders will hit the wings. So just angle your wings accordingly. And as long as things are angled properly, they will be fine. And then you can push these back. And as you see, that one goes further down. For some reason, that one doesn't. And what you want to do is bring your paws, your hands back, fold in your thumb, bring it back as far as it'll go, and just bend down those fingers. So bring that back as far as it'll go, and that one got way cleaner than the other one. Oops, my backpack just got undone. Honestly, it's only being held by one tab. So, you know, it is what it is. There we go. That's a bit cleaner for the fingers. And once again, he's looking off, but looking at my knees, I think that's why. My knees are a little bit foldy backy. So I'm just having a look. So it's this knee here. So just give me a second. I want to see if I can fix that. No, I tried tightening it. It's as tight as it's going to be. It just seems to have a bit of clearance somewhere. So it is what it is. But if you look that straight on, it doesn't look like it's leaning. You can just fiddle with the, oh, there you go. You probably fold the feet a little bit to compensate. So I've just compressed the feet a little bit. And that's made it look straighter. There we go. Now, we're not finished yet. We want to make sure we rotate the elbows so that we have the bicep joint at the front. Same on the other side. And we want to rotate, rotate the whole thing. There's always one. Rotate the forearm so these holes are out the side. And voila. Then we can flip this up, and moment of hope. Try to get a nail in there and try to swing those hands out. Because I don't think, I might be able to. I think I can get I get that in there? I think I just got, oh no. Oh no. I think I got me piece stuck. 1 second. So I got it out, and also noticed there's actually pegs on these sides to actually plug the backpack in as well. So there's that. I knew I forgot something. And I still haven't got this hand out yet. So you know what I'm going to try? I'm going to take one of the boosters, plug it in there, and there we go. Is that going to be enough leeway? Oh, there we go. Now we can bring all that around. Rotate it, which you didn't really see. I'll do it better on the next one. And our hands are back where they're supposed to be. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So yeah, I would suggest using his blast effects to give you a start getting those hands out. Because I wouldn't grab under the fingers or anything, because it would probably break. Fold that up, and voila. And fix my toes up. So he's standing straight. All right, so last step, we do need to bring in Spasma. And as I said before, put in nice and tight. And that is him back in his robot mode. And of course, we can give Spasma a gun. And this is one of the few issues I have with this figure, is that, whoops, is his elbows. His elbows are too loose, and I've tried tightening them. And it would probably help if I could get this elbow to move, but that's not happening. So there we go. So there is KingGorilla, Apeface, back in his robot mode. So, last size comparisons. We'll bring him over a little bit so we have a little bit more room. There he is with MP10. We'll give it a bit of angle. So, honestly, from head to head, Prime is still taller from the antenna. However, if we include the backpack, he's definitely bigger. So, there is that. And we can bring in Siege Apeface. I'll drop the camera down a bit for that. So there we go. Siege Apeface and KFC Apeface. And they look pretty good together. I admit I've been having my Siege one in ape mode because I haven't figured out what I want to do with my KFC one. So there we go. So there we go, basically. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe, ring that bell, leave me a comment. And if I haven't said already, I will put a link to my Siege Apeface if you want to check that out. But apart from that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.